intro and the outro. Okay, here we have it. This is Expressing What Matters off of our EP, Ecstasy, which was the kind of, it preceded the album, Energy. When did we drop this? It was this year, right? I think it was this year, like February. We were going to drop this in February, and then the album was going to come out in like May, and then COVID, blah, blah, blah. But it's all out now. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites off of that EP. Very sample-based. Oh, actually, speaking of the sample, I need to open Ableton because that is a key part of this. But yeah, the song is based around Low Down by Boz Scaggs. And well, I say based around, I mean, it's you know, it's an edit really. Well, it's not an edit actually now. It's not like I just let the tune play and, you know, I just put some extra drums under it. That, for me, an edit is where, you know, all you've really done is restructure it and add some drums. This is a little bit more than that. We really wanted to focus on the BVs, the backing vocals, because as dope as Boz's main vocal is, the BVs are the bit that always get me, man. When those oohs come in the chorus, that was always my favorite. So went in on those, chopped them about, and yeah, the Ableton chopping is pretty interesting in this one. Boz, album structure, it's probably that. Yeah, so there's the Ableton side of things. Seems to be loading okay. Yeah, very colourful project today. I had a lot of time to mess with these. This is actually one of the oldest tunes that we put out this year, I would say. I made this in 2017, maybe 2018, but it has been with us for a long time and stood the test of time as well. Went through a couple of different mixes, but I did find it hard to mix this one. It's one of the ones I kept going back to a lot. I don't know why. I just couldn't get things sitting where I wanted to. I think because I wanted a really dry, loud clap, but I also wanted a bass guitar, and then you've got Boz Scaggs in there as well. It was all just a lot of new things that I don't usually do. Yeah, garage drums. But the swing of it is what I really want to focus on today, because this project for me was an experiment just about swing. And I learned a lot in terms of, like, I let the sample guide me along the journey of the swing. And that was all done because of pretty much just dragging in this sample into Ableton. And once I started messing with it, and I put it on beat mode, importantly, beat mode. Once I started really chopping it around and messing with it, I was only kind of making it worse. And I realized I should just kind of not quantize it, let it be as it is, and let the where the drums fall, I'll line my stuff up to that. So, because I wanted swung drums, you know, I wanted some swing, but it's kind of straight, the tune. So there's a lot of flamming, and then it's a real drummer playing. So, you know, you'll get the occasional, like, look at this. You can even see it in the waveform here, like straight, but that's kind of swung. That's straight. That's kind of off grid. Like that should be there. That's swung. It goes from straight to swung a lot. And that's what I really loved about this tune, was because you've got bits that are going da, 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 and then without you even realizing it goes da, 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 da. It's kind of fading in and out of swing. So that was fun to mess with. Let's just check it actually plays. So there's the tune. So all this bus here, all of that's coming in from Ableton. So that's why it's, you know, there's no regions here, but it's rewired. It's coming in from Ableton. I'll just make that clearer. There you go. So all of that's Ableton. And yeah, so this blue here, these are the hi-hats. So I messed with the hi-hats as well from the original song and put those in the beat. So that's actually from the original tune, but those have been quantized a lot and swung because I think the original's probably just totally straight. Let's try and see if we can. This is what the original sounds like. Yeah. So it's been brutally chopped off and swung. And I'm gating it as well heavily because it should sound like this. So this is all the different modes, you know, in Ableton can give you. But, you know, I love that guitar in there as well. Just letting you know the key, you know, but not too much. So yeah, that's what it sounds like in Pro, but I put it in Beat and brought the transients down to 22, and that's how I got that chop. And, you know, I'm also doing some, you know, further processing in here, taking out some resonance, monoing it, and then I open it up when the beat comes in, I think. See here, it's like monoed a little bit, and then opens up. Just nice and like, hey, here we go. Subtle moves, but important. Got a layer of kick drums for this one. Got just a little toppy one. Oh, there's that one as well. Big kick. Yeah, it's a nice short punchy kick for this one because really busy bass line. That was one of the things I was struggling with the most. I wanted a big subby kick for the longest time because there's not much sub in the bass. It's just boom, 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 boom. So yeah, I was back and forth about that a lot. But in the end, I was like, screw it. Not every song needs loads of sub. Like, you know, punch is fine. So not the subbiest tune. It's in there. It's just low volume. We got some snare action going on. Oh, so here you go. Clap, clap. This is what I was saying just now when we were listening to whoever tune it was. I don't mind a clap sample, but you got to layer it. And I'm layering it big time. Have a look at all this. Just makes such a difference, man, in terms of it sounding human, you know? To me, anyway. That's now sounds like it's gone from someone hitting a pad on an MPC to sounding like a choir standing there just clapping away, and, you know? That's important, I think, in the stereo field, you know? It's not much, you know, I think it's probably only 8 bars of a loop, but that's enough for me anyway, in my mind, to hear, oh yeah, we're not just pressing a pad here, you know, it's nice. Yeah, super tight, really, really tight claps. Probably got noise gate on those. Oh, I did. Oh yeah, there's been some gating and some bouncing happening there. So yeah, you know, that makes a huge difference. If I, you know, play the drums without the clap bus, it just sounds like that pad is just, you know, being hit, and I just love it when it opens up. So there you go. That's how I did my claps for this one. They're actually only very quietly in there because I just wanted them to be at the side, you know, just hint at that. How are you panning the claps? Good question. Just like that. Slightly left, slightly right, very left, very right. Pretty left, pretty right. Pretty left and right. And then I think I've panned them all to the right, weirdly. I must have had the sample clap slightly panned to the left, I would guess. Yeah. Oh my God, I know myself pretty well. Look. So the sample clap is slightly to the left, and then the clap bus is very slightly to the right. Everything in the right place. Yeah, what else happens in the drums? LFO hit. Oh yes, this is my monotribe, my little Korg monotribe, which is like a LFO, you know, analog synthesizer. I just sampled that one little noise, and that's in there. Yeah, just adding a little something different. We got some sweeps. It's just white noise, just straight white noise. going through a load of H delay and Valhalla. That's how I usually do it. Reversed with a little slowdown. And we got this little loop from, I think this is just from Splice, you know? Yeah, it's got some heavy transient master on there. Just taking out all that reverb. Ah, there you go. You see, you hear that? That's what I'm talking about. Listen to this swing. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted to do with this tune. That's what you get with a real drummer. That's hard to do with programming. But yeah, that's what it sounds like nothing. But for me, as a personal experiment, this is what it was all about for me. And making sure those backing vocals sound absolutely sick. Get off grid, guys. That sounds like I'm telling you to run away to the woods. Yeah, get off grid. The apocalypse is coming. The apocalypse is coming. Get your water. Get your toilet roll. Got some really nice tambourine and bell here. I really like that tambourine. It's super quiet in the mix, but hard to the... No, not hard, but very left, and then just really, really subtle moves, man. Yeah, no Ableton hi-hats here. That's just when the sample comes in. We'll get to that. But yeah, listen for this swing here on the last bar. There. Sorry, third bar. Super subtle, right? But yeah, when you hear it with the sample, it's going to be banging. Got some extra clicks, apparently. Yeah. Don't know where those are from. Could easily be a Logic sample, to be honest. I was just looking for even more layers to go with my click. Yes, love claps like that. Cool. Let's do the bass next. Two basses in this song. I think it's a sampled note. Maybe. Note. Is that just a sine wave? I think it's just a sine wave. Oh, bass guitar. Yeah. So there's the sub, but it's very, we're minus 20 dB, so you're not really hearing it. The bass guitar is what's taking front stage. How's this little boom? Yeah, ample bass doing that. Ample bass J. This is the update, which I haven't actually used yet. So I didn't make it using this version, so it might sound a bit different, but yeah, it's funky. Minus 20 dB on the sub, but look, crank it up in your headphones. You'll notice the difference. Here's just bass. There you go. Just, gives it energy underneath, and yeah, it's not as loud as I'd usually have a sub, but I just couldn't get it sitting right in and amongst all the sample, and it's a busy sample, There's a really cool bass moment that happens at the end that is obviously Howard. There you go. Lots of fills in the bass. Love that. Bass chord. Very jazzy. So yeah, I let him have that 3 times, but nothing more. Thanks for gifting subs. How you wanna? Good job. Yeah, so there is some looping in the bass, but I made a pretty big effort to make sure that that it was slightly different each time. Like, you got different fill, stripped back. Again, different fill, different velocities. So yeah, I'm just trying to make it sound like someone's actually playing this. and he's kind of ad-libbing as we go through. Fun. So yeah, it doesn't sound like a real bass when you solo it, I don't think. You know, it doesn't have all the fret noise, but in the mix, it sounds great. Chords. Only one pad in this whole song because the sample was doing all the work, which we'll get to in a minute. Just a keyscape. Whirly. Yeah, just 2 chords the whole way through. What's that, E-7? Yeah. That one's weird. What we got there? It's A6, 9. Yeah, A6 and a 9th. No, it's a G. My bad. That's what it is. A7, 9, 13. Wow. Oh, yeah, it's an A. Sorry. So that's a weird old chord. Very sick. String note, of course. Got a bit of Phase Mistress on there, just giving it some spread. Bit of tremolo, saturation, blah, blah, blah. Starting to come together now. Yeah, so that's everything we added. And then you got the sample, which is, yeah, the most important bit. So 3 tracks for the sample. A lot of plugins. Hella plugins on this track. Let me take them all off. You can have a proper listen. Take my output track off as well. Can we do them all? Yes. So that's the main part of the song, you know. Plugins on. Just some basic filtering, got a bit of bass boost, lowering the mids, trying to make room for that bass guitar. So that's that. Hey Sound Studio, how you doing? So that's the whole build-up section. Let's see what happens when we go into this with no plugins. I'm actually into that. I think you can see why I was inspired to make a tune, because that's what happened. I put it into Ableton for the first time, did the transient thing, and I was like, yo, this is fire. Yeah, just so you can see what's going on. Crazy. I think I've already bounced this. That's right. Yeah. So this was originally, this is like a bounced version. It's annoying. I can't show you the settings, but I mean, you kind of get it. This is what it was, you know. It's the same exact sample and it's been through a bunch of processing. And all it was is using this, you know, transient mode. I think I had it in push forward as well. put it in that, and you get this really choppy. Yeah, there you go. That's even crazier. You can see. Sounds insane. But yeah, used appropriately, you get some really nice gating effects. So, and you can see it in the waveform, you know, it's gone from looking like that to looking like that. So yeah, mess around with that down there. That's one of my favorite features in Ableton. It literally gave birth to this whole song. So first up, we're going into some overdrive and compression. Just beefing it up. Yeah, just light. And you'll notice at points I've done different amounts of this transient thing. So like here, for instance, I think I had it set on like 40 or something. And then here I've got it set on like 80 because that's letting more of his voice through, you know. And then here you got like a reverse thing and again, you know, to get longer moments, you bring those numbers up. There you go. That one hasn't been bounced. That's on 46. And that one's on 67. And I've gone through all of these meticulously on purpose to get it sounding the way I want it. So, you know, it's not just a cut and paste job. There's a lot of detail. Love that bit. So yeah, it's just grooving. From that, more saturation, then some EQ, just leveling it out here, getting rid of all the bass drums because I don't need the bass drums from the sample. I've got that going on already. More compression now, little bits here and there. Yeah, it's barely doing anything, to be honest. I probably had it hitting harder at one point. Then some gem dopamine, boosting the highs. Just bringing out those lovely hi-hats. Then soothe, which will be controlling that massive snare. You know what? It's barely doing anything, actually. Yeah, I probably tried it and didn't even need it in the end. It's taking out like 1 dB. Sounds good anyway, that's why. Taking out more lows, and then this is my kind of filter plugin. So this one's mainly here just for doing sweeps and stuff like that. You probably see it happen at certain points. I don't know, it'll be in there somewhere. Then H delay. That'll again be for build-ups and stuff. Reverb. Again, for build-ups, it's on 0 there. I've got a general, 20% reduction on the attack. I think I just thought it was a bit too stabby. And I didn't want to back off on the compression because the compression was, you know, it's doing nice stuff. It was just leaving too many transients popping through. So I just took off like 20. That is tiny details there. You won't even notice that really. And then that is going to be the side chain. Right, I think. Slamming. And then sending to a few buses. Logic chorus. What's that one? Octave up or down. Yeah, just sending it to an octave below, just very lightly. Reverb, and then what's this one? Rotocab. So yeah, without. If you're in headphones, you should be hearing that stereo vibe. I'm just going to sort this sun out again. Why don't I have the compressor on 0 milliseconds? Compressors behave weirdly when you put them in 0 millisecond mode. They do distortion and they do a bunch of other weird things. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of physically impossible to have 0 milliseconds on a compressor, because then you're talking about it. You'd need like a look ahead function like you have on some DSs. Actually, there are compressors that have look ahead. So that might be all right. But yeah, with the Logic one anyway, if you have it on 0, well, it just distorts in a weird way, not in a fancy way. So I don't go for that. I just do 2 milliseconds. And if I feel like my sidechain, I can hear that 2 milliseconds popping through, I'll just move whatever is triggering it to trigger it early. And that seems to work fine. I've never had any problems with 2 milliseconds though. A lot of the time, I'll like that bite to come through. I quite like it going like, you know, just catching the kick before it squashes down. You can add a lot of punch by doing that. You're getting that here quite a lot, to be honest. Look, here's the sidechain. You're still hearing all of those drums come through. Do you know what I mean? Let me exacerbate it. So that is basically that 2 milliseconds of sound just getting through. So that's fine. Am I missing the point? Someone's asking me, I meant your side chain. Sorry, that is the side chain. I'm not sure what you mean. The adaptive one. If you're working with a vocalist, do you recommend they record before or after you've added swing? Well, I don't really add swing before or after. The track is either swung or it's not. It's just written that way. I don't ever swing a track after writing it in like straight. That would be strange for me anyway. If I had a whole song going and I was like, nah, swing, that would just be too much of a vibe change. I just commit immediately to whether I think it should be swung or straight. So the singer comes after that. All right, let's get back to it and then I'll take questions at the end. That's all of that. What's this other one here? Get back. Hey, son, you better get on back down. Oh yeah, we just used a tiny bit more of the sample. So this bit, yeah, the breakdown here is fire. Sick. All right. So now with the plugins, you bet you barely noticed that bit before. Yeah, and then we got, I mean, there's so much automation on these Ableton tracks that I don't want to go through it because it was, I spent enough time looking at all of this, but yeah, you can see it's pretty crazy. Delay, build-ups, stereo spread, filters, you name it. It's been automated. And I do all my automation in Logic because this is where I do all my mixing and the plugins are here. Ableton is just doing playback. There's nothing on these tracks. It's purely there for warping the audio. That's all I'm doing with that. Sick. That's the little filter. I'll make it crazier. So yeah, I just position that exactly right, just to give you a little before it comes in. Wow, you can't even see it. It moves so fast. Yeah, I mean, there's a few ways you could have done that, but I had my EQ open anyway, so I went for that. Bam. That's basically it. There's a few monotribe jams happening here. Build up stuff, which I recorded in manually. So I'm just increasing the rate. So LFO. Goes crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, classic Disclosure. Beat 2 drop. Yeah. There you have it, guys. Any questions? There was a few above, which I missed completely. So feel free to ask away now. And then I'm going to go. So I've got a few things to do. Would you recommend using soft tube saturation on the master out? Got that and magnetic. Not sure which to use. Up to you, man. They both do distortion, saturation. You just got to think of them as different like flavors. Like tube is one type of sound, tape is another. So I would just A/B both and see what you like best. Tube generally, in my opinion, is kind of brighter and gives you a bit more shine, whereas tape is warmer, boost the bass, decrease the highs. So bear that in mind. Do you put Soothe on the window to help with sunlight? Yeah, I basically did. No, it's just a huge panel that used to make up the bed that was here. This is a bedroom, so it's like the bottom of the bed. I'm just sliding it around. What about the glitch sample sound? Where's that? I don't see a glitch sound. Yeah, you have to point that out to me. Why is it called Expressing What Matters instead of Lowdown? Buzz VIP. Well, yeah, VIP might have, I don't know. VIP stands for Variation in Production. So I only really do consider VIPs when it's like a remix of your own song, a variation. This could definitely have been called Lowdown Edit. But I think that from Buzz Skaggs' side, or publisher's side at least, and the label side, they didn't want it being called Lowdown, pretty much just for publishing reasons. You know, Spotify, Apple reasons. They don't know where to send the money if you've got two tunes named the same thing. And that's fine if you're only doing a few hundred white labels or giving it away on Bandcamp or whatever. But, you know, we're at a point now where we got a lot of eyes on us. And so I knew, you know, A, we had to get the sample all cleared and agreed upon. And then, you know, it's up to them really how they want to go with the name. And they didn't want to use Lowdown. It was called that for a long time. Expressing What Matters. I can't remember why it became that. I mean, the lyric in the vocal is, what's it like? I wonder, wonder, wonder what gave you that big idea. I wonder, wonder, wonder. Gave that big idea. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have to really rack my brains. I don't think it came from Howard. This was mostly me, this tune. Howard helped me work out the chords and we both did the bass line together. But other than that, it was pretty much me. So I think I named it. I just can't remember why. But yeah, it's a nice name. Expressing What Matters. Maybe I just thought that it was an unsung hero of a song. I mean, it is a famous tune out here in the States, but in the UK, was it a massive hit back in the 70s? I'm not sure. I didn't grow up listening to it much. Maybe I just thought it was important to give the song another life, but it's already a massive song, so I don't really know where I'm going with that. But yeah, Expressing What Matters. Can you show us the monotribe in action one day? I will, yeah. I've left it in the UK, annoyingly. I should have brought it out here. It would have fitted in the box as well. There you go. Charted at number 28 in the UK and 3 in the US. So yeah, I didn't grow up listening to it much in the UK. So let's roll with that for now. Putting good music forward is what it means. Expressing what matters. Tal, Juno VST, any good? Yep, absolutely great. Very, very good. Did you approach the label or did they approach you? Oh, no, we approached them for sure. Yeah. Yes, we did. Much expression, many matters. Sorry, guy, I meant Softtube, the company. Oh, yeah. Well, I love that plugin, bro. I think is it free? If it's not free, it's pretty cheap. Softtube saturation. Yeah, I don't know. That they do lots of types of... Is that what you mean? You don't know which to get, the tape one or the tube one? If I had to just randomly pick one, I would go with tape, but they're both useful. Tape for me is used. I use tape more than I use tube, because I use tube a lot when I record in. You know, you want to go through a tube mic or a tube preamp or a compressor or whatever. But in the box, like, I mostly run stuff through tape. I don't know what's good for master, man. There's no rules. It depends on your song. There is no, this is the one for this in music. It doesn't work like that. It is free. Personally, yeah, I think for that plugin on the master might be difficult because there's not much control. It's just one knob. So mastering saturation is usually a bit of a subtler vibe than just straight up, you know, whacking that on it. But try it. Try it in like keep high mode or neutral. I wouldn't go low. That'll give you a lot of distortion. But yeah, up here with it like there, you might be all right. Might sound okay. I've never tried it. Just not enough control. Drum reverb, question mark. Oh, what is the drum reverb? Usually I send my drums, if I need extra reverb, to bus 2, which is this, the EMT 140 plate reverb on 1 second today. There you go. Guy, I think the key in Logic on this one is incorrect. It should say key of banger. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't even know where it does say the key at all. So you're a step ahead of me. How was it working with The Weeknd? I'm going to stick to this song today, but it was great. He's a sweet dude, man. He's a gent. I'm missing lots of questions up here. Show the reverb that you send your drums to. Did it? I meant, how do you chop your sample that thin and thick at the same time? I went through that at the beginning of this, but it's all on Ableton here. It's a lot of work, a lot of manual chops, a lot of messing with this mode down here, transient mode, switching between these things, adjusting this number. It's a little hidden gem in Ableton, that is. Pop is a hard genre to produce. Are you thinking of doing more pop? I just make music, bro, every day. And it comes, I mean, you guys have been watching me now for weeks. I'll make a house beat, a garage beat. I'll work with a singer. I'll make a drill beat. I'll just make whatever's in my head. And sometimes they become popular. That's how we've always done it. When I made, well, I guess Latch was our first big pop song. Just made that the same way I'm making music right now, but with a few other people in the room. No different. So I don't plan to do any of this. It just happens. Drum bus reverb. There was a lot of you asking for that. The drum on the bus itself, there is no reverb. It's just that I'm sending stuff to bus 2 now and again. And that's, yeah, that's this. I think. Yeah. Some nice reverb on the claps there. That's this. Concert hall, 1980s setting. There you go. How much percent you get and songs and how much labels. Well, different every time, bro. For this one right now, off the top of my head, I can't remember. But if you go on prs.com and search for this song, it's all there, publicly available. So you could find out. I just can't remember right now. But I remember them being pretty reasonable. Yeah. We didn't get, I don't think we got destroyed for it. I don't think they took 100%. But they were, you know, within their right to. But I think we worked something out. I can't remember now. That's all my manager's doing that. Can you sample the song on Logic similar to Ableton? Yeah, I could have done all of that in Logic, but like I said, I wouldn't have had the ability to cut and chop this sample in the same way. That's why I like Ableton, is literally because of this thing. Beats. I love that mode. I've gotten so many cool results using that on drums, especially. You know, you just can't. There isn't really a mode in Logic that I know of that lets you do this and then go to this. So that's cool. Whisper Ableton is superior. It just isn't. It's just also useful, as is Logic. I don't have any thoughts on Ableton 11 because I haven't used it yet, but the video looks cool. Looks good, man. Again, just use what works best for you guys. If Ableton is your thing, use that. If Logic's your thing, use the Logic. What does that feature do? It just, it's the way it's warping the audio. It's the way that it's putting it in time, you know, because when you speed up and slow down, Ableton and Logic, you know, you get a choice of how you want to do that. So like in Logic, you've got these modes. You can do monophonic, slicing, rhythmic, polyphonic, speed, which is just straight up stretching it and changing the sample rate. That one is very strange. I never use that one. And, you know, they have its benefits as well. This is why, like, Ableton isn't better than Logic. Logic's not better than Ableton. They just have different sounds. Same as, like, you know, what's a better guitar, a Gibson Les Paul or a Fender Strat? They're both absolutely great. They just sound completely different. Favorite place in the UK to play would be probably Alexandra Palace in North London. Did 3 nights there in a row before. Yes, so you just joined late. We are doing B. Howard this weekend. In fact, yeah, let's end this. We're done now. That was Expressing What Matters, everyone. Hope you learned a lot.